Well, hello, everyone. It's Arwen Becker, the host of the She Handled It podcast. And I wanted to shoot this little video to let you all know about my experience that I've had with PodPost Media. I had considered starting a podcast in December of 2018. Okay. And so I had been referred by a friend of mine to PodPost Media, but I actually personally had not spoken to them. My husband had, because we really weren't sure. Was I going to be doing a podcast that was centered on financial stuff like I do in my retirement planning business, or was it going to be something different? And I hadn't really determined what that was. And so December 2018 turned into May of 2020 when I finally just felt called to start. Okay. And so I did, and I was still working with a financial planning company that has a podcast division. And I just felt like I was really having to do a lot of the work, and it just didn't feel congruent with what it was that I was wanting to produce. And so I decided personally, not my husband, I decided to pick up the phone and call PodPost myself. And the phone call that I had was fantastic. Charlie and I talked about the different things that they do. And there was one thing that really stood out to me is he said, we only need you to show up as the talent. That's your job. And our job is to do everything else. And to me, that sounded awesome. But I'm also really particular. I am very organized. I am very structured. I am very conscientious about my words and how they're put out there. And so I thought that this was going to be an interesting experience, as other people were going to be taking the things that I say, editing them together, or creating copy. And it was a very short period of time, honestly, probably within the first few episodes, that I communicated to Charlie and the team that this was by far the best vendor experience that I have had in years. I've owned a retirement planning firm for over 20 years. I've worked with a lot of people over that time period, being an entrepreneur, had to handle a lot of things myself. I know what that looks like. And it was such a phenomenal experience, and has continued to be, because they handle so many of the things that I don't want to be doing. As much as my words and the things that I say and what I'm going to be putting out as content really do matter to me, working together hand in hand with their transcript team and the editing team. And then we've worked out these great details that allow me to have a little bit more emphasis in some of the things that are written. And so they do their best to take an emotional topic, because again, I'm not talking just finances and something that might be a little bit more dry. I might be talking about autism, or, domestic abuse, or depression, or things like that with my guests. And so these are really tough topics a lot of times. So their copywriters have worked really hard to take the transcripts and put together meaningful show notes that really get to the heart of what the topic is about. So I have been thrilled. I was shocked at how tremendously good their graphics design team was. Way better than I would have ever expected. And we've had to make a couple of tweaks again here and there, and they're just so receptive to it. And the end product ends up being exactly what I want. But the most important part is I don't have to be heavily involved in it. So that's the amazing piece of all of this. So, for any of you who might be a little bit hesitant, it is absolutely worth the cost to be able to put out something into the world, into the universe of social media and communication that is high quality. I am really surprised how companies that I'm very familiar with, that have a high level of expectation and expertise and attention to detail, will start a podcast and it sounds mediocre. And you're just not going to get that through PodPost. Of course, it's up to you to have some, good equipment and things of that nature, but they are going to do the things that are necessary to make it sound as good as humanly possible and then be able to give you direction along the way as to how you can really partner with them and be even more effective. And so I would so encourage any of you. I have the best team in the world. I love these guys that I work with. And the communication for us is very consistent because, as I said, I'm working on very emotional topics a lot of times. And so we refine things, but we have a great system that works for me and my style and my speed. And the responses are quick and to the point, and we hash these things out and we continue to move forward. So, would I recommend to you PodPost Media? Yeah, definitely would recommend it. You will not regret it. I guarantee you that. Super team. You will absolutely be blown away, and it will make you seem really awesome. And that's really great too. So, all right. Hope that helps. Talk to y'all later. Bye.